ESPN Radio, would call in sometimes on your own, and I've always appreciated it, Adam, back in the day. It's great to be back connected with you. How are you? Adam, I didn't got to punch up the number. I thought he was on a line. Adam, how are you? That was me.
Well, John, welcome back to Philadelphia. Congratulations on the new gig. Lots of luck with it. I know it'll be a huge success for you.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I've got to tell you, I come back into what is a raging controversy here with the Philadelphia Eagles. Adam, you've always depicted the Eagles organization as one of stability and just calmness. What's happened in the 35 months since the Super Bowl?
Well, it's gone sideways. It's been that kind of year for a lot of people, but none more so than the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't know exactly how and when that happened, but things certainly have not gone the way that they would have planned, nor the way they wanted nor expected. And there'll be some fallout from that this offseason. There already is. And, again, the game Sunday night was wild. The events leading up to the game were wild. The whole season's been wild. And, again, now we see what happens and what's the fallout of it all, right?
Yeah, well, Schefter, what do you think is going to be the fallout of it all? And I don't want you to speculate, but, we're getting all this backlash from what happened on Sunday night. I think there's an organizational problem from GM to head coach. Is it going to be something palpable that changes that we're going to see?
Well, I've said all year long, Bob, I think we've talked about this. You always start with the coach and the quarterback, right? So yesterday, at least Doug Peterson was scheduled to meet with Jeffrey Lurie. I haven't heard. It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Okay. And I asked that in all sincerity. Like, these days really just blend together, especially at this time of the year. So they were supposed to meet yesterday. I never heard anything amidst the Browns and Nick Casario and everything else going on. But I would assume, being that we heard nothing, that everything went as well as you could hope it to go. The expectation was that Doug was going to be back. Okay, so that answers that question. And now we go on to the quarterback. And, a friend of the station, Rob Motti, reported on it yesterday. I believe what Rob says, that how did he depict it exactly yesterday in the AP story? You tell me the exact language, if you have it right there.
It's not exact, but it was, I'm going to take a break for a little bit and then come back and talk, and I hope it doesn't end in divorce.
And, Adam, I ask you this. How many franchise quarterbacks did not speak to the media at the end of the season?
Well, forget that, John. I would just say this. Again, all year long we've talked about it comes back to the coach and the quarterback. In an organization that had the kind of year that the Eagles did, are we going to believe that everybody's just going to be back? We know Jim Schwartz won't be back, so there'll be a shakeup on the defense side of football. And I think the real question about is Carson Wentz. Now, my opinion, I want to be very clear about this because, again, sometimes you say things and,
sure,
and they wind up, as reports. I don't believe Carson Wentz will be back. That's my opinion. Again, today, I reserve the right to change that opinion based on the events that transpire over the next month or two. But I believe that they'll look to move on from him. I believe he wants to be traded. I believe what my work partner, Chris Mortensen, reported on Sunday, that the relationship is, quote-unquote, fractured beyond repair. When he said those words, I went, what? Like, that was my reaction. I was, whoa, more. Wow, okay. And I think when you hear that, I think it speaks to the level of frustration that's been built up. I don't think that is easily wiped away. And I do think, ultimately, they're going to have to look to trade him. Now, when Howie Roseman spoke to the media this week, whatever day that was, I think his message, and correct if I'm wrong, was something along the lines of, we're not talking about that right now. We're not looking at it. We're not going to talk about that right now. But they've got a problem. The quarterback is going to want to be traded. He hasn't said it yet, but he does. And he hasn't complained about it publicly, but he wants to be traded.
Yeah, Adam, and to that question, let's work under your opinion here that he will get moved. And I believe, I'm right there with you. I believe that. Is Jalen Hurts shown this team enough to turn the keys of the kingdom over to him? Or do they possibly think at number 6, they're not accustomed to being this high in the draft, do they actually consider a quarterback upcoming?
And I got one more for you. Again, you're saying quarterback at 6. If if they do trade Carson Wentz, you know, it's interesting. I haven't asked this question. I'd like to, actually, and I'm going to, when the rest of this week unfolds and I speak to some people, what would the return on Carson Wentz be?
When Mort joined us on Monday, he said what his reporting is that, just talking to people casually, he doesn't think he would return a first-round draft pick. He thinks it would begin with a 2 and maybe something else in addition to that.
I don't think I disagree with him at all. And again, I think back, the contract is such that if Carson wants to be traded the way I think he does, then he might be willing to rework the money for Team X, but not Philadelphia. And they need to do it, I think, by the third day of the league year when a roster bonus is due. So you have those discussions January, February, and you tell the team that's acquiring him, whichever team that is, okay, yeah, I'll rework this. I mean, I'll even take less maybe here. I mean, that could be. However they decide to sift through it and sort it out. But if the money is acceptable, then I think they get a 2 and something else too. If the contract stands and Carson's inflexible, I think the Eagles might have to eat some of that money. And, I remember when the Texans traded Brock Osweiler to the Browns, they traded Brock Osweiler and a 2 so that the Browns would take on the contract.
Yeah, Schefter, this whole backlash that Philadelphia is receiving, whether it's Doug Peterson, the team, about the way they performed on Sunday night, does it surprise you? We've seen it throughout the NFL before. Does it surprise you, all the backlash that they're getting?
No. And I will say this. You say we've seen it all before, Bob. When have we seen that before? I don't think
I thought the execution was horrible, but as far as going into a game knowing that your ultimate goal isn't to win, I mean, Pittsburgh didn't play Roethlisberger on Sunday. We've seen a lot of guys sit.
You know what though? I think again, and I'm trying to think of. Joe Judge pointed it out, right? In that speech that I'm sure. I don't know if you played.
Yeah, we got a little traction out of that one. You figured.
I figured you would have. See that? I can produce radio too.
You absolutely could.
And so he raised, I thought, some really good points. When he talks about all the sacrifices that everybody made for this season, that's right. And by the way, the Giants didn't do what they were supposed to do and left themselves in a position to where they had to rely on the Eagles. And shame on the Giants for that.
Right.
Okay, that's also true. But the point about people making sacrifices this year and the NFC East being decided like that, I don't recall a situation where we're down to the last game of the year, playoff spots on the line in what has been a disappointing division all year long. And certainly not in a year like this one. Not in a year like this one, where people are making a lot of different sacrifices.
All right, Adam, before we let you out of here, will you buy a Powerball ticket today? Is Powerball, can you even be a participant in the Powerball? We have bought collectively because we will count you in for a what? No?
Whoa.
Nobody wants to let you in on a share.
We're
here,
winning
Adam.
this, John.
Wait, who just blocked me?
It's Bob Cooney, COONEY.
Every single one of these guys. And I mean, they're all. Would you be a guy that when you're driving down the street and you see Powerballs at $400 million, $500 million,
yes,
that you drive in and buy a ticket?
Hold on. Before I answer that question, hold on.
Thank you for the Christmas present, by the way.
Am I not a friend of the station?
You are
the ultimate friend.
Okay, the ultimate friend. Okay, hold on. So. What is the prize? I've been living in my own football bubble here. What is
it's like $500 million, isn't it?
$410 million.
And you guys are splitting it amongst yours?
8.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so and it's how much you said?
It's like it'll
be like $450.
$450. Probably tonight by the time it's
$500 million a man. Is that right?
No. It'll be like $50 million each probably by the time we get done with it. 50 to $60 million each.
Okay, I want a piece of that. Okay, I want a half of one of your earnings. So, like, in other words,
you want a half share.
I want a half share.
Half of one.
Half of one share.
Am I in for that?
I see. I think that's
We'll talk about
it. Now, Cooney's trying to be the arbiter here. It is
You got to Venmo me $1.
some little act of good faith, Adam, which is good.
How about this? I want a flat fee of $10 million.
Flat. Well, he's done.
Okay.
Done.
We'll give you that.
We're all in.
You're in.
Schefter's got $10 million, but you're not allowed to quit because your obligation to the John Kincaid Show continues.
That is a deal right now.
All right.
Okay. And in fact, deal. Okay.
I just negotiated a $10 million payout to Adam Schefter. If Jeffrey Lurie isn't calling me to help Howie Roseman,
I got to revisit
offseason.
this.
All right, Adam, we love you. Thank you for joining us.
John, you are the new mediator for Carson Wentz in the Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome
Thank
to
you,
the
buddy.
market. Good luck with the show. Nice to be with you all. Happy New Year to everybody.
Glad to
Thanks,
have you
Shefty.
back,
$10 million.
Good job.
$10 million, baby.
$10 million for Adam Schefter.
No.